Reed Smith already hates me, so today I'm coming for the Gibson cult too, because I ran a blind test between a bottom tier Harley Benton and a $12,000 Les Paul Custom. And when I took away the logo and forced the listener to judge just based on the sound alone, that USA-made masterpiece didn't exactly rise above the pack. So today I'm revealing which guitar was which and dropping both of them into a Zeppelin style mix to find out if that $12,000 Les Paul actually sounds special, or if you're gonna pay a lifetime of credit card interest for a freaking logo. Hey there, I'm Glenn Fricker. I'm the guy that doesn't have any Grammy Awards, but a lifetime of dragging my ass out of bed for an assembly line job so I could afford a guitar that I barely had time to play because I was working all the freaking time. And despite doing everything I can to make YouTube videos that are actually worth your time for watching, I still get comments like this.
I believe Tobin has special QC guys for influencers. The rest of us only get the normal check. My CTS 24 was flawless. Maybe I was lucky.
Oh, crumbs balls. This is why I do the Stealth Buy series. I buy a guitar under a fake name, shipped to an address that isn't mine. I pay for it out of pocket. I pay for all the editing. I pay for the whole damn thing. So you get the real consumer experience and not the YouTuber special the marketing department polishes before sending it to somebody with a promo code. And what do I get for going above and beyond? Gems like this from Foul Owl 2112.
Stealth Buy, like HP has somebody hanging out watching or is waiting for this tool's address to show up.
Wow, you sure can't please everybody, especially a Rush fan who's never kissed a girl in his life. So let me spell this out for you, Foul Virgin 2112. That is, if you can pry your nose out of Geddy Lee's ass long enough to pay attention. I have visited Toman numerous times. They know me personally, and my name isn't exactly John Smith. Glenn Fricker tends to stick out. So riddle me this, how the fuck am I the bad guy for going out of my way to make sure these reviews are free from any corporate fuckery? I swear, some people really don't want the truth. All they want to do is sit around and bitch. And listen to Rush, apparently. Now, for anybody wondering, I fund these videos from the Home Studio Cheat Code, my system where I can show you how to get mixes like this using nothing but free plugins because life's too short to waste your money on pretty interfaces. It's on sale right now for Black Friday at 69% off, but the sale ends tonight, so get your copy today. So for this test, I ran this Harley Benton Les Paul clone against a real Gibson Les Paul Custom valued at $12,500. But to avoid giving everyone a 50-50 chance to guess their preferred guitar, I threw in two wildcards. A PRS SE that I reviewed last summer, and the Harley Benton Totally Not a Tom DeLonge Strat ripoff model, both of which are killer guitars, by the way. Signal chain was my Magnatone SL100, those amazing new UK-made vintage 30s in an Engel 4x12, mic'd with an SM57 and a Beyerdynamic M160, and those are blended on the Neve. The only variable here is the guitar. Now, I read over 2,000 comments, and we're gonna reveal each guitar from lowest to highest score. Here we go. Well, I don't think anybody saw that one coming. Damn, that wasn't even close. Good thing that Tonewood masterpiece from Gibson cost so much. Otherwise, people might feel a little ripped off that it came in dead last! This wasn't even close. This wasn't a race. It wasn't even a fight. It was a slaughter. And Harley Benton, this guitar here, just curb stomped a Gibson on cleans. Wild. I've always said that the best science happens when you don't get the results you were expecting. Even I didn't expect that one. Now, it is important to point out that asking guitar players to answer a simple question is a challenge in itself. I left very clear instructions in this video. Can I get a replay, please? Now, what makes these blind tests work is you, so I want you to tell me which you think sounds best for each segment. Just tell me guitar A, B, C, or D. I don't need anything long-winded. No. Just tell me what you think sounds best. And yet, despite that, I still get genius-level comments like this one from Alex Johnson, 4759.
On the clean tone, I assume A was HB, EMGs are pretty focused. B, C, D sound passive, wider range of tone. Rest of the test, they all sounded the same except the lead tone. One of them was much hotter and tighter than most likely the EMG.
Excuse me for asking, Alex, but what the fuck does that actually mean? Is it really that difficult to just pick a guitar based on which one sounds best? Here's another one.
A, Harley Benton. B, Gibson. C, D, Gibson.
Yeah, thanks for the effort, but that doesn't tell me anything useful other than how intelligent you are and how good you are at following simple instructions. Really, this is not that difficult. And then we've got this wonderful masterpiece here.
Clean, guitar A, Gibson. Heavy, guitar D, Gibson. Lead, guitar C, Gibson. Or they're all the same Harley Benton.
What the fuck is wrong with people? Why can't they answer a simple question with a simple answer? Do they have to make things difficult? Oh yeah, it's guitar players. Of course they have to make things difficult. So despite me having to wade through the raw sewage of these amazing comments, I did manage to put together a vote count of which guitar actually sounded best. Yes, there's probably a few errors in my counting because apparently guitarists struggle to walk and chew gum at the same time. But it's still more accurate than most tests because this one was double blind. Because even I didn't know which clip was which. Only my editor did. Now for the heavy tones, we used the same setup, but with an Engel Fireball. And if you're wondering why the number of votes in the clean test doesn't match the number of votes in the heavy section, well, read those comments again and you'll figure it out pretty quick. Even though I explained that the order was scrambled between tests, a ton of people just left one pick. And the most repeated comment was, I couldn't tell the difference during the distorted parts. Now, if you're a metal player, that should tell you something very important. Oh yeah, and the Harley Benton came out on top by another wide margin. Crazy! But it's not a total cleanup. Watch what happens when we play the leads. Interesting. The clear winner here is the Gibson. And if you play a lot of leads and happen to have a spare 12 grand lying around, go grab yourself one. And if not, and you still want a great lead sound, then go get your hands on a Harley Benton Strat with humbuckers just like this one. But unfortunately, it's true to Harley Benton legend, just like that Pale & Blue SG clone that I love so much. This one here is no longer available. Rumor has it the Fender wasn't too happy about this model, which is no surprise. It does look a lot like that Tom DeLonge, but let's be honest here. They're probably pissed because it's better than most Fenders. Now, the double blind test is important because it strips away all of the nonsense surrounding guitars and forces us to focus on what actually matters. The tone one? No, the sound, you fucking moron! And make no mistake, how it sounds in the room might matter to you, but it sure as hell doesn't matter to the three drunk regulars at the opposite end of the empty bar your band is playing at. The world hears the recording. Maybe it's time to pay attention to that factor. And here's where things get hilarious. Christian Vey, who played on this demo, brilliant guitar player, he had some, shall we call them, unexpected choices that I'm pretty sure he's not going to be too thrilled about.
Clean, B. Heavy, C. Lead, A.
The fact that the guy who owns the expensive Les Paul didn't pick it out in any of the 3 tests should tell you everything about sound versus how we think something sounds when there's a fancy logo attached. But of course, guitar by itself doesn't tell the whole story, so I called up my very good friends Eric Arco and Chrissy Stixx to do an old school full mix shootout between the 2 guitars. Hit it! Wild how much things change once we add a visual in, huh? Now, for the record, we did this on the Magnatone, which is way cleaner than what I normally use. So we should be hearing more of the guitar and any subtle shifts between them because amp distortion tends to distort the source signal. Weird, huh? Now, I was almost going to take away this guitar's 4.25 star rating and revoke my recommendation because right before filming, the bridge pickup started coughing and wheezing like it had just smoked an unfiltered pack of Marlboros. What I was getting was intermittent crackle, sputtering, and classic Potter capacitor is about to give up on life. And no, it wasn't the cable, it wasn't the amp, and it sure as hell wasn't me. It was this guitar. Now, the hilarious part, by the time the camera was rolling, the problem magically vanished. Perfect timing because this video was going to go very differently. And naturally, I didn't bother to record anything during this part as I was just too damn busy trying to fix the thing. A few blasts with some keg deoxit, and suddenly the guitar is pretending like it never even happened. Great, this guitar's got commitment problems. But here's the point. I shouldn't have to give a brand new guitar a chemical bath just to get it to behave. And this right here is why I do the stealth buy. Because if this were a sponsored review, I'd get the factory fresh, hand massaged influencer special edition that never has these problems. And you get the real customer experience. And that's what I want too. Now, if you want more honest reviews like this, grab a copy of the Home Studio Cheat Code. It's my system to help you cut through the bullshit and get real results like this. Using nothing but free plugins. You get 2 complete courses, my amp captures, my impulses, and 4 group coaching calls where I tear apart a mix and show you exactly how to fix it and save yourself a fortune in the process. It's 69% off for Black Friday, but this is the last time you're ever going to see this deal, and it ends at midnight, so get your copy now. Here's the thing. I go out of my way to self-fund these reviews to avoid any corporate fuckery, and yet I still get comments like this.
And we should believe that you stealth ordered it as someone else based on what? Trust me, bro, and fairy dust? Nice ad, Diddy.
No, asswipe, this is not an ad. If it were an ad, I sure as hell wouldn't be talking to you about a problem that almost sent me straight into return shipping hell. And I wouldn't have this sales receipt right fucking here! Yes, we blurred the name and address because we want to keep Harley Benton honest. So even though the guitar is working fine now, a little deoxit and it stopped the crackling, dying campfire, for a moment I genuinely thought I was going to have to send it back. So I did the research on what returning this thing would actually be like, and guess what I found out? Yeah, that's what the automotive industry calls the tail of the scorpion, the part that stings you after you buy it. If you're in Canada like me, you're on the hook for return shipping to the EU. That's if you want a replacement. And that's going to cost you anywhere from $150 to $300 depending on size, weight, and carrier. And for that kind of money, you probably save a lot more by taking it to a local tech. It'll be cheaper and way less painful. If you're in the States, you can send it back to the Harley Benton Reverb store for free, but they don't stock every model and they don't ship to Canada from there. So that free return shipping only applies if the guitar is in stock at the Reverb store and you live in the US. If you're in Canada, Mexico, or basically anywhere that isn't the EU, yeah, you're shit out of luck. And that's the gamble with Harley Benton. If it works, awesome. If it doesn't, you're fucked. I got lucky. I genuinely thought that this thing was going to become a problem, but it turned out to be great in the end, which is awesome because I love recommending killer affordable guitars, especially when they can beat a Gibson in a blind test. So yeah, that 4.25 star rating stays. But seriously, Toman, just throw a can of deoxit into the box before you ship the guitar. Save everybody a headache. Because here's the truth. For a good 24 hours, I really thought I was going to have to send this thing back. And as a Canadian, that is a nightmare scenario. Return shipping to Europe, customs roulette, and the constant fear that FedEx will hand me another bill big enough to pave my entire driveway. That brief scare was enough to remind me exactly why I do a stealth buy. So I can see the real customer experience, not the reviewer special that got the deluxe factory spa treatment. Luckily, a blast of contact cleaner fixed everything. Crisis averted, guitar saved. But here's what that means for future purchases of affordable guitars. Leo James on Amazon is looking like a great option because as a Canadian consumer, free returns makes way more sense than rolling the dice with international shipping, customs, and whatever clown show the couriers feel like running that day. Great guitar, great price, but please proceed with caution. Now, if you like videos like this, the stealth buys, the double blind tests, and the brutally honest reviews, those are self-funded by the Home Studio Cheat Code, my system that teaches you how to get amazing mixes like this using nothing but free plugins. And the 69% off Black Friday sale ends tonight. Get it now because you're never going to see this deal ever again.